Good morning, students. In the last class, some part of the introduction completed. We are in chapter 9 statistics. In the last class, some part of the introduction completed. Now we will see the remaining part of the introduction. What is completed in the last class? Class completed. Definition of class. Data is divided into number of groups. Each and every group is known as class. Classes are of two types. Number one, inclusive classes. Number two, exclusive classes. What is inclusive classes? What is inclusive classes? 1 to 9, 10 to 19, like that. 1 to 9, inclusive classes. 1 to 9, 10 to 19. So, 1 to 9, 1 to 10, 11 to 19, 11 to 20, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Such type of classes are known as inclusive classes. Then exclusive classes 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. That is exclusive classes. First one inclusive classes, second one exclusive classes. How to identify they belongs to what type of classes? If there is repetition, such type of classes are known as exclusive classes. If there is repetition like 10 repeating, 20 repeating, 30 repeating, 40 repeating, such type of classes are known as exclusive classes. What is inclusive classes? There is no repetition. Suppose 10 to 11, there is no repetition. Such type of classes are known as inclusive classes. Inclusive classes, exclusive classes. Next, I told you two more important definitions: primary data, secondary data. The information collected by investigator with the definite objective is known as primary data. Example: weight of all students in your class, distance between your home and your school. Then what is secondary data? Data collected from a source which had been already recorded. It is known as secondary data. Already it is there in the register, in the record. Now we are gathering the information. Class teacher want to gather the information from record. Such type of data is known as secondary data. Then classes are of two types: inclusive classes, exclusive classes. One more topic completed yesterday: limits and boundaries. Limits and boundaries. What are limits and what are boundaries? I told you yesterday. Starting value is known as limits, two types: lower limit, upper limit. Boundaries, two types: lower boundary, upper boundary, like that. What is lower limit? For any class, starting value is known as lower limit. For any class, ending value is known as upper limit. What is 1? Lower limit. What is 11? Lower limit. What is 21? Lower limit. What is 31? Lower limit. What is 41? Lower limit. Then what is 10? Ending value is known as upper limit. Upper limit. 20, upper limit. 30, upper limit. 40, upper limit. 50, upper limit. So, starting value is known as lower limit. Ending value is known as upper limit. Then, coming to exclusive classes: 0, lower limit. 10, lower limit. 20, lower limit. 30, lower limit. 40, lower limit. So starting value lower limit. Then 10 upper limit, 20 upper limit, 30 upper limit, 40 upper limit, 50 upper limit. That is about lower limit and upper limit. Starting value is known as lower limit. For any class, starting value is known as lower limit. For any class, ending value is known as upper limit. So what is lower limit? Starting value. What is upper limit? ending value. Starting value is known as lower limit, ending value is known as upper limits. Now, what are the boundaries? Exclusive classes, starting value is known as lower limit, not only lower limit, lower boundary also. So, exclusive classes, limits and boundaries are same. Limits and boundaries are same. And these are known as upper boundaries also. So, for exclusive classes, limits and boundaries both are equal. Limits and boundaries are equal. Such type of classes are known as exclusive classes. Here, one is known as lower limit only. I want lower boundary. How to get lower boundary? Subtract 0.5. Subtract 0.5 to get lower boundary from lower limit. Suppose 11, it becomes 10.5. 21, it becomes 20.5. 31, it becomes 30.5. 41, it becomes 40.5. I want the upper boundaries. So, here inclusive classes both are different. I want the upper boundary. Add 10.5. Add 10.5. Add 10.5. Add 10.5. Add 10.5. So here limits, boundaries different. Inclusive classes, limits and boundaries are different. Exclusive classes, limits and boundaries are same. Write down once. Then, next definition. So, this is the topic completed yesterday. Limits and boundaries completed. Then, today, first topic is frequency. What is frequency? Frequency definition. The number of items. The number of items that fall in each and every class is known as frequency. Definition of frequency. Next point, frequency. The number of items that fall in each and every class. The number of items that fall in each and every class is known as frequency. So define frequency, anyone? The number of items that fall in each and every class is known as frequency, and it is represented by letter F. Very, very important definition. Define frequency. The number of items that fall in each and every class is known as frequency. Second important point, next point, to prepare frequency, we use tally marks. To prepare frequency, we use tally marks. To prepare frequency, we use tally marks. What is the use of tally marks? To prepare frequency, we use tally marks. You know what is tally marks? You know what is tally marks? Okay, na? So, like this we are doing. Suppose 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Suppose 0 to 10, 7 students are there. You think like that to know about tally marks. 7 students are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then don't write fifth line. Fifth line becomes cross. Cross means fifth line. Then 2. It becomes 7. How many students are there in first class? 7 students. 7 is known as frequency. Suppose 10 to 20, 11 students are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 cross 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cross 11. 11 students are there. Suppose 20 to 30, 8 students are there. 20 to 38 students are there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, then cross 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that, 8 is known as frequency. Suppose 30 to 40, 30 to 40 marks. Suppose 9 students are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 students. Suppose 40 to 50, 6 students are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, like that. Here, 7 is known as frequency. This is known as tally marks. To prepare frequency, we use tally marks. With the help of tally marks, we get frequency. First one, 7 is known as frequency. Second one, 11 is known as frequency. Third one, 8 is known as frequency. Fourth one, 9 is known as frequency. Fifth one, 6 is known as frequency. That is about frequency and tally marks. That is about frequency and tally marks. Then, next topic is class mark. ORR mid value. Class mark or mid value. What is the definition of class mark or mid value? Suppose 0 to 10 class is there. I want to know class mark or mid value. So, what is the definition of class mark or mid value? The average of lower limit, the average of lower limit and upper limit of any class is known as class mark or mid value. Class mark or mid value. So what is the definition of class mark or mid value? The average of lower limit and upper limit of any class is known as class mark or mid value. This is first point. Second point, class mark CM, shortcut CM. Class mark formula lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Class mark formula lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Then third point, example, class mark of 10 to 20 is dash. Class mark of 10 to 20 is dash. So solution, 10 is known as lower limit, 20 is known as upper limit. Class mark equal to lower limit 10 plus upper limit 20 by 2, 30 by 2, 15. That is about class mark or mid value. So the average of lower limit and upper limit of any class is known as class mark or mid value. Class mark shortcut CM, formula lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Example, class mark of 10 to 20 is 10 plus 20 by 2, 30 by 2, 15. Next topic, range. Next topic, range. Range. Next topic, range. So what is the definition of range? The difference between maximum value and minimum value of a data. So the difference between maximum value, highest maximum value, the difference between maximum value and minimum value, the difference between maximum value and minimum value of a data. The difference between maximum value and the minimum value of a data is known as range. Of a data is known as range. The difference between maximum value and the minimum value of a data is known as range. Second point. Range equal to maximum value minus minimum value. So range formula, maximum value minus minimum value. Third point, example. Suppose maximum value, highest mark 98. Suppose highest mark in mathematics 98. Least mark minimum, suppose 50. Minimum 50. Range equal to 98 minus 50, 48. So that is about range. Maximum value minus minimum value, or highest value minus least value. Next topic. Next topic is class interval or size of the class or length of the class. Next topic, three names: class interval or size of the class or length of the class. And it is represented by letter H. Class interval or size of the class or length of the class. Today last topic, class interval or size of the class or length of the class. Definition: the difference between any two successive lower limits or upper limits. The difference between any two successive lower limits or upper limits is known as class interval. Interval means gap. So the difference between any two successive, they should be in line. The difference between any two successive lower limits or upper limits is known as class interval. Example: I want to write some classes 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Like that some classes are there. You know they are what type of classes? They are exclusive classes clearly, because there is repetition. Remember, if there is repetition, such type of classes are known as exclusive classes. Then take the difference. 0 lower limit, 10 lower limit, successive lower limits, gap 10. Here also gap 20 minus 10, 10, 30 minus 20, 10, 40 minus 30, 10, and here not only lower limits, upper limits also, successive upper limits gap, okay, here 10, here 10, here 10, here 10. 10 is known as class interval or length of the class or size of the class. Okay na? So take the difference between lower limits. They should be successive. Don't take the gap between 0 and 20. They are not successive. 0 10 gap 10. 10 20 gap 10. 20 30 gap 10. 30 40 gap 10. Not only lower limits, upper limits also. 10 is known as class interval or size of the class or length of the class. Then what is the relation? Relation among range, comma, number of classes, comma, next point, number of classes, comma, class interval. Then what is the formula? Number of classes equal to range by class interval. Number of classes equal to range by class interval. Number of classes equal to range by class interval. That is about class interval or size of the class or length of the class. The difference between any two successive lower limits or upper limits is known as class interval. Here everywhere gap is 10. 10 is known as class interval or size of the class or length of the class. Then what is the relation among them? Number of classes equal to range by class interval. In the next class, we discuss about next topic, methods of measuring central tendency. Thank you, students.